So yesterday was the opening of the NFL season, the opening of the 49ers season, really, because it opened on Wednesday of the season, but nobody cares about the Cowboys and Giants when you have the 49ers and Packers playing on the first Sunday of the year. And the 49ers went to Lambeau Field, where the Packers are now 0-2 in their last two games because the 49ers just handed them a defeat. Their defense is so good, and Alex Smith played beautifully, and just the addition of receivers like Randy Moss and Mario Manningham make that offense a totally different kind of dimensional offense. Ricky, I was pretty satisfied with that win. I was never really worried.
Let me ask you this. I mean, from what I saw, Randy Moss looked pretty good. He looked like he was in shape and like he hadn't taken a few years off to not play football and sit out. Were you impressed with him at all? I mean, he had four targets, four catches.
You know what was impressive to me was one play where he made the catch, but they thought that he was going to be so fast. They gave him such a cushion. That didn't exist with the 49ers last year. There was no defense, there was no receiver who stretched the field like Moss does. So even the idea that he could stretch the field makes people defend the 49ers differently than they did last year. Created many more opportunities for Michael Crabtree, who was their featured receiver last year. He had 6 or 7 catches yesterday. Seven catches. Vernon Davis played pretty well. They didn't find him where they wanted to, and Smith overthrew him downfield once. But you know, it does change the aspect of this offense, which I think was the missing link. You have your entire defense returning. They're strong. A couple of additions on special teams, a couple of subtractions too there. But then you have this offense, which has added these receivers. I think Bruce Miller as a fullback actually looks really good for the 49ers. Gore had 112 yards, a workman-like game. He had a touchdown, a great touchdown, a 23-yard run. And that's with Kendall Hunter still playing many more downs than he would have played last year.
Let's go to the fourth quarter for just a second. Now, we were talking about the replacement refs off the air and how I think personally they're under much scrutiny, and it's going to be a bigger microscope because, you know, when free agency is over, it's back to, oh, these guys are on the field and they're taking forever to come up with their decisions. But the block in the back penalty that was originally called and then was called off, and the flag was picked up, and it looked like absolutely it was a block in the back.
Yeah, it was a block in the back on Anthony Dixon. The other one, which was a block in the back, I think on Tavares Goodner, was on Larry Grant. I mean, they both could have been called. The second one,
there were two penalties on that
in the same play. The second one, much more flagrant. One of them was called, and then the replacement ref overruled the replacement line judge. So, I mean, listen, these guys, it's hard for them. But, you know, the Niners had some calls go their way, some things that were not called against the 49ers that should have been called, that the Packers rightly had a gripe about. But this was a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. It made a huge difference, brought the game between 8. You know, the 49ers came back and scored right away there. And then, of course, the game finished at 8 points. But I tell you, you know, we don't sit around here talking about how great the regular refs are ever. So it's a tough game to referee to the National Football League. But these guys were seriously, I thought, outclassed by the game yesterday. It did take them too long.
I was really impressed with NaVorro Bowman. I think I'm always going to be impressed with NaVorro Bowman. But what happened with Patrick Willis? Because I saw he was on the
sidelines a little bit. NaVorro Bowman is a cover linebacker, a little more than Patrick Willis is. But both of them are. You know, Willis was just spelled there. It's game one. They must have seen defense. Vic Fangio knows what he's doing with the Niners defense, so there must have seen something that lined up better for Bowman. Bowman had a huge day yesterday. He had that interception. He's a great football player. Penn State guy.
Interception.
Yeah, it's a key interception. A fantastic play. And that changed the tide. That was right after that punt return. So it was really important for the 49ers to be able to have somebody like NaVorro Bowman. And listen, these two guys in tandem, Willis and Bowman, there aren't two better. There might be two equally as good. Offhand, I can't think of who they would be. Two linebackers that play like that in the NFL. So the Niners are fortunate. Again, this defense has played together now for an entire season, a season where they went to the playoffs, and they're all together now, even up front. I mean, you guys like Sopoaga and Ray McDonald and Justin Smith, all these guys have played together now for such a long time. It's really an important part of the Niners.